This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Yeah, my primary goal in speaking out is to protect the Democratic Party from what I view as Trojan horse candidates.
He's referring to Jennifer Ahern Koch. So much for party unity among Sarasota Democrats. She's running against fellow Democrat Hagan Brody and Republican Martin Hyde for 2 at-large seats on the Sarasota City Commission. With less than 2 weeks left until the runoff, local parties are weighing in on this contentious race. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Conan. Welcome to ABC7 at 7. We'll have more on the Sarasota City Commission race coming up, but first, our top 7 stories at 7. And we begin tonight in Palmetto, where detectives are investigating allegations a staff member at the Lincoln Memorial Middle School inappropriately touched a student. Today, detectives from the Palmetto Police Department interviewed students at the school. An incident report describes the allegations as lewd and lascivious conduct. The Manatee County School District says the allegations resulted in the immediate removal of a teacher from the classroom and contact with any students. So far, no arrests have been made.
You need to investigate it thoroughly, get to the bottom of it, and you need to put the time in, because an investigation like that is going to require time.
Neither the school district or the police department are commenting. I'll follow up on Northport dance instructor accused of assaulting a 15-year-old girl. Lauren Debedetta is now facing 3 charges of lewd and lascivious molestation. She was arrested in January after police say she was caught in the victim's bedroom. The victim took classes at the Haven Dance Studio in Northport, where Debedetta taught classes. New charges were filed as a result of work by an electronic forensics expert and a police interview with the teenager. Debedetta is being held at the Sarasota County Jail. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office is investigating after a man was found dead in the parking lot of a Walmart on Cattleman Road. Deputies say it may be an overdose death. Deputies were called to the store around 8:30 this morning. The victim was found in the vehicle. His name was not released. At least 14 people have died from overdoses in Sarasota so far this year. It was a horrible story that made national headlines. 73-year-old Mary Knowlton was shot and killed by a police officer during a citizens training academy in Punta Gorda. Today, we're learning more about the incident from a hearing for the former officer who fired the fatal shot. Lee Cole was in court again today. This video shows the final moments before the deadly shooting. The Punta Gorda police officer who helped investigate the incident testified Officer Cole didn't intentionally shoot Knowlton.
Do you think Officer Cole did anything wrong?
Yeah.
What?
He killed a 73-year-old lady during a training exercise.
He can't do the job because what he did was so onerous that people don't trust him, whether it's the public or his own coworkers.
Cole's attorney argues the bullets he was given were indistinguishable from blanks and says the police department is responsible for not using a safety officer. Cole is appealing his termination. Taxes may be going up again for homeowners in Venice. The Public Works Department says the increase is needed to cover the costs of garbage pickup. Homeowners would pay an extra $4 a month.
Well, most of us are on fixed incomes, with the greater population. That's what I think about, because everything else is going up: insurance, health care.
Venice's City Council will vote on the increase at an upcoming meeting. With the City Commission runoff coming up in Sarasota, it is time to test the voting machines. Today, the Sarasota County Elections Office tested the voting and tabulating equipment to make sure it is operating and recording accurately. Sarasota City Commission's runoff is May 9th. The city of Northport will also hold a special election for an open seat on its commission. A local pilot is okay tonight after crashing into Sarasota Bay. Police say the pilot was trying to do a water landing at Hart's Landing, but the wheels were down on the plane, causing the plane to flip over. Boaters at Marine Jack rescued the pilot, who was standing atop of his plane. The National Transportation Safety Board has been notified. And Bob, those are things you have to be very careful about.
Yeah, absolutely. In the bay there, too, lots of boating activity going on throughout the day, too, with sailors out there just off of City Island moving through the bay. Currently out there, it's pretty calm conditions right now. 80 degrees. The winds out of the south-southwest at 9. The pressure 2986. And that dew point temperatures really come up, and that's a result of that southwesterly component. So look for some warm and muggy conditions through the night. Temperature is 73 at 11. That's more like summer, and we could even see some inland fog forming as a result of the increase in the humidity. Well, the forecast model looks like this. Maybe a few inland showers along the east coast, but that would be about it. The heat is on, too. Highs today were in the low to mid-90s in Highlands County, DeSoto and Hardee counties, in the eastern Manatee and Sarasota counties tomorrow. We'll see high temperatures approaching the low to mid-90s there. We could even see some record highs. That cold front fades to the north of us. Winds right now generally out of the south, anywhere from 5 to 10 miles an hour. So not too breezy out there, and looks like to be a pretty nice evening as well, with temperatures currently a little bit hotter inland. 87 still in Sebring and Wauchula at 85 degrees, and then you move off toward the coast. Inglewood at 78, Northport 81, Sarasota 80. And in Bradenton, it's 81 degrees. So the story is lots of heat and higher humidity and a little chance for rainfall.
Which is not good news.
No, bad.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, Sarasota City Commission race gets nasty. None of the candidates have an R or a D next to their name on the ballot, but that doesn't mean there are not rancor and recriminations when we return.
Looking for something fun to do on a Friday night? Then come to Music on Main, the first Friday of every month at Lakewood Ranch. Enjoy free live music, dancing, great food, and lots of fun for every family member, even the furry ones. Meet up with friends, enjoy activities for the kids, or make it a special date night. And be sure to stop by the ABC7 booth and say hello. Mark your calendars for Music on Main, first Friday of the month, 6 to 9 at Lakewood Ranch. Brought to you by ABC7 and these sponsors.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blog, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get Debt-Free Now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-628-1251, 800-628-1251.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
If you're struggling to keep straight who is supporting who and why in the Sarasota City Commission race, don't worry, you are not alone. As Kate Flexter tells us, yes, both political parties are involved, but that doesn't come close to telling the whole story, Kate.
Thanks, Alan. City Commission races here in Sarasota are considered nonpartisan, but this year that's not the case, and it's that party involvement that's causing some internal conflict.
The results are in for the March Sarasota City Commission race, and the pool of candidates has been narrowed from 8 to 3 who will now face off in a runoff.
The City Commission races tend to be the most heated races we have locally, at least in my experience.
While municipal elections are technically nonpartisan, the Republican Party has voiced support for Republican Martin Hyde, and the Democratic Party has publicly supported known Democrats Jennifer Ahern Koch and Hagen Brody. Vice Chairman of Sarasota County's Democratic Party, Kevin Griffith, says the party has not formally endorsed the candidates and is only informing voters.
Because the races are local and the voters are local, people tend to know the party affiliation even though it's a nonpartisan race. The job of the Democratic Party is simple. Let our voters know, people who are registered as Democrats, who the Democrats are that are running.
But even that informal support is drawing criticism from within the party. The argument is that Ahern Koch's values don't align with those of the Democratic Party.
What the party is doing by backing Koch is sacrificing its progressive principles with respect to policy simply to elect somebody with a D next to their name.
Gabriel Hammond is a Democrat and worked on Commissioner Liz Alpert's campaign in 2015. He calls Ahern Koch a Trojan horse candidate, accusing her of opposing affordable housing.
Her agenda, which revolves around traffic and the look of buildings, is totally out of touch with the challenges facing working families in the city.
Ahern Koch is one of the leaders of a group called STOP. According to its website, the group is concerned that our zoning code creates looming buildings with narrow sidewalks and shuts citizens out of the decision-making process. One of Ahern Koch's positions is including public input in any major development in the urban core. And that's the major sticking point for Hammond. His concern is that public input will further delay much-needed affordable housing.
This idea of having the public weigh in on every single new infill development is just outrageous, because what's going to happen is a vocal minority is going to attempt to use this public input process to undermine new buildings with which they don't agree with.
We spoke to Ahern Koch's campaign manager, who told us affordable housing is actually one of the focal points of her campaign, adding, quote, she believes we'll get more affordable housing in our city if the process is more transparent and involves the public. While the two Democratic candidates have differing approaches to development, among other things, Griffith hopes to see the Democratic Party aligned in what he considers an important race.
Both parties can get together and our city can thrive, and I hope it does, and I think it will.
It's important to note that Ahern Koch was the top vote getter in the March election. The final runoff will be on May 9th.
Kate, thank you. We are in the final 2 weeks before the runoff election. When we return, we'll speak with the vice chairs of the Sarasota Republican and Democratic parties, along with a former mayor. In a moment, we take it to the trapezoid.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here.
Why, you don't like my hair? The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds. No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm going to show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch the Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
This is a special health alert for seniors suffering with joint pain. If you have Medicare insurance, you may qualify for high-quality support braces at little or no cost.
I'm thrilled with my knee braces.
Now, there is a simple and proven solution for seniors to get out of pain with state-of-the-art support braces.
I barely feel any pain at all.
Braces for your knees and back, as well as your shoulders and ankles, too.
I'm so happy with the quality of these braces.
Call now, and you could qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I can play ball again, and it doesn't hurt.
And because of my Medicare coverage, it costs me next to nothing.
So call now.
And because I have this red, white, and blue Medicare card, my braces have cost me just about nothing.
It's true. You may get a knee, back, shoulder, and ankle brace at little or no cost.
They qualified me for 2 knee braces and a back brace.
If you have knee or back pain, give them a call. They can help.
1-800-476-8967. 1-800-476-8967.
Attention blood clot filter patients. Surgically implanted blood clot filters are potentially life-threatening. Some filters are prone to breaking, resulting in pieces of the filter moving through the body and causing internal bleeding. If you had surgery to implant a blood clot filter, you may be entitled to a cash award, even if you haven't suffered side effects yet. Call the Gold Shield Group now, 888-747-5291, to see if you qualify for a cash award, 888-747-5291.
It's the season of savings right now during the spring clearance event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Over 100 standard and available safety features make the new Chrysler Pacifica a safe investment for any family. And right now, you can own one for just $24,999. Or get one of America's longest lasting pickups and save up to $11,000 on a new Ram Crew Cab. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Welcome back. And you thought the spring municipal election in Sarasota would be boring. Shame on you. It's a nonpartisan race, but in reality, you have two Democrats, Jennifer Ahern Koch and Hagen Brody, and one Republican, Martin Hyde. But it's a lot more complicated than that. Three candidates running for two seats in a city that leans Democrat. But in this case, the two Democrats are waging their own little skirmish over which other, through surrogates, and the community group STOP, which wants to control development. As for the Republican, Martin Hyde, he is giving his own party headaches with stories like the one in the Herald Tribune today, raising questions about his temper and his temperament. Joining us is Jack Brill, the vice chairman of the Republican Party of Sarasota, Kevin Griffith, the vice chairman of the Sarasota County Democratic Party, and former Sarasota Mayor Kelly Kirshner, who is probably glad he is not running, but is the perfect person to help us understand all the plots and subplots in this election. Kevin, let me start with you because you saw what Gabriel was saying in Kate's story there, and for somebody who is the vice chair of the party, I would imagine it's awfully frustrating that in an election like this, you would like to see both Democrats go on and take both seats. It doesn't help when they're fighting with each other like this.
And the irony of all this is that Jennifer Ahern Koch and Hagen Brody actually get along, and they agree with each other on more than they don't. I want to make it perfectly clear to your viewers. Both STOP, which is an organization, and Gabriel Hammett do not speak for the Sarasota Democratic Party. The Democratic Party of Sarasota endorses Hagen Brody and Jennifer Ahern Koch for the City of Sarasota election. The reason they hadn't endorsed prior to today is because our DEC has a meeting once a month, and they hadn't yet met, but they're meeting as we speak, and they will both be endorsed. So we endorse both candidates.
But as a matter of party discipline, this is not good.
Well, I think what's not good is what's coming from the Republican side. And if you look today, what was a very substantive debate on what you heard earlier about development has now turned into Trump-style hate speech. I mean, if you look at what Jack's party put on their Facebook page and the comments that are linked to it pointed directly at Jennifer Ahern Koch, it's totally inappropriate and it has no place in the city of Sarasota.
Hold on one second. First, let's tell people we're referring to. Jennifer Ahern Koch is on the video talking about sanctuary cities, which is something that is big in the news right now. And obviously, the Republican Party is helping disseminate that in hopes of what, Jack?
Well, Jennifer Ahern Koch, she put on a video which has now been seen by 47,000 people and 21,000 or 27,000 views in 24 hours. She is advocating that we have Sarasota become a sanctuary city, which is probably the largest campaign conversation to have. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, we don't want criminal, illegal aliens in the city of Sarasota or Sarasota County.
Let's have our own version of PolitiFact here, and we'll ask Jack to I think all of us should observe, truthful, honest conversation. There is no video that Jennifer Ahern Koch made that is supporting sanctuary cities. A question was asked at a forum, and then it appears that that video has been spliced together to somehow suggest that she's supporting this, which I would agree with Kevin, is just goes back to, you said, shame on the voters. Well, no, not shame on the voters, shame on whoever's participating in these games, and there's probably some games on a couple sides here, but this one is at its worst. It's going back to let's create this narrative about immigrants or somehow the boogeyman in a city election, and it's completely ridiculous. When we talk about a sanctuary city, if you want to know who's in charge, it's the sheriff. It's who runs the jail, and that's who's going to decide who gets deported or not. So let's stop the bogus conversation.
Hold on just one second. Kelly, that may be true. But in terms of public opinion these days, despite what the federal courts are doing in terms of the Trump administration, there have been so many stories about tragedies and violence, on occasion with illegal immigrants around the country. Many people do not want their local communities to be labeled sanctuary.
Well, exactly, and that's clearly what Kevin was referring to, that the Republican Party understands that sentiment. This is not a position of Jennifer Ahern Koch's. It was a question that was asked. I think her response was something in effect, I don't even really know. This is not an issue that is coming before the city that I know of. And now somehow that's been spliced together in a manipulated video to somehow suggest that she's supporting it. And it's blatantly wrong. And shame on whoever is doing this to put that narrative out there.
I can tell you, nobody from the Republican Party has spliced everything together.
Well, that's great.
What is said in the question that was done at the New College Forum, and she was asked if she would support sanctuary cities, and she said, I would support sanctuary cities and Sarasota becoming a sanctuary city. And, you know, and we're not talking about, we're talking about criminal illegal aliens, you know, and to your point, since 2009, we've had 460 criminal illegal aliens that have been rearrested, have been sent to Miami by Sheriff Knight's office, and have been sent back to 17 different countries. That's just since 2009.
You are aware that New College has been pushing to be a sanctuary
I am very aware
campus.
of New Colleges, yes.
Alan, here's the problem. This is an entirely made-up issue by the Republican Party and the Republican leadership.
Kevin, it is not a made-up issue. She's on video.
And here's the problem.
And it's the largest issue there is in the race right now.
On the comments section of the Facebook page, they use phrases like rape, a word that you wouldn't want your daughter to be called. And the Republican Party of Sarasota has brought this to Sarasota and says, please reshare, please vote November 9th or May 9th for our candidate, instead of condemning it.
November election.
And so I'm calling on Jack and the party today to denounce that type of rhetoric on their own Facebook page.
Comments that are made by individuals are not anything that we support.
Are you
Those
going
are
to
the freedom of speech.
remove them?
We'll have to, you know, if they're that bad, we'll have to look at it.
Because the people of Sarasota do not want Trump-style politics in our city hall.
But people in Sarasota want a safe city, and they don't want criminal illegal aliens.
I would also appeal to ABC7, again on the shame topic. Can we talk about city issues? Because that's what voters really care about. I don't think they want to talk about sanctuary cities. I think the voter is smart enough to know that that is a ridiculous boogeyman to somehow drive a wedge.
But you're getting your point.
Jack, is that really an issue for Sarasota right now?
It is a very much of an issue because it affects every aspect of the city.
There are a lot of issues going on with this campaign, some Democratic only. There are a couple involving the Republican candidate also, and we will get to that. We are just getting started. We'll pick up the discussion right after we check the weather.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos, to use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View. We're taking Throwback Thursday to a whole new level. I'm Stephanie Roberts on Suncoast View. It's the 40s all over again. We've got Goodwill Fashions in the studio showing how 40s still looks good today. A historian tells stories of the Suncoast 7 decades ago. Plus, the Jazz Club of Sarasota plays, and we'll try to swing and foxtrot. Plus, Madison's joins us in the kitchen. Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone. Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wanna Be Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabeinn.com.
Our discussion of the politics surrounding the race for the Sarasota City Commission continues in a moment, but right now let's get a check on our forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
And the heat is on, Alan. Not so much today, but tomorrow I think a lot more people will get into the 90s tomorrow. The Casey Key webcam review showing a beautiful day for the beaches. We had that, for the most part, south wind and then a southwesterly flow and component, which kept temperatures into the mid-80s to lower 80s along the area beaches, but low to mid-90s. We're experiencing inland areas. Now, there is a cold front, very active one right now, moving through Arkansas and Louisiana tonight. This one is producing the potential, at least, for tornadoes all the way up through Indiana and southward down into Louisiana. This front, although looks rather impressive, like it may have an impact on our weather, it's not going to. It's going to stop short of our particular area, and we're not anticipating anything going on with it. No rain around our immediate area. That's the way it should stay tonight. There is a chance, a slight chance for an isolated inland storm with temperatures getting into the mid-90s. There's always that potential for an isolated storm to pop up, especially inland tomorrow, but the rain chance is less than 20%. 80-degree temperature. Currently, it's clear skies, and the dew point is up there at 67 degrees. Winds are out of the south-southwest now at 9, and the pressure is starting to rise. It's at 29.86 inches. The high today managed to get just a couple degrees above average, not close to the record 91, and the rainfall deficit continues to grow higher and higher each and every day. The forecast for Thursday calling for more of the same. We'll start off with temperatures in the low 70s, which is summer-like, and then mid-80s for highs, a little bit warmer near the coast. I mentioned earlier in inland areas like Wauchula and Arcadia could see a temperature right around 95 degrees tomorrow as a result of that southerly wind flow, which will be persistent through our region. And again, that will be the case. Orlando could get up to 96 degrees, and that will be the same case on Friday. Well, here's the RPM forecast model. That low spins off to the north. It loses its front. The front falls short over North Florida. It fades away, and we'll see that southerly wind stay with us through Friday. Now, with a little bit more moisture coming into play, you'll notice the heat a little bit more so than we have over the past couple of days, even though temperatures were still in the mid-80s. It wasn't too bad because the humidity was low, but that's going to be a different story, I think, by this weekend. And as far as the national scene goes, I mentioned those big storms down south, and then we have snow falling in parts of North Dakota, Minnesota, even into Wisconsin earlier, but that snow has since moved on. As far as the boating forecast goes, tomorrow looks to be not too bad out there. Seas running 2 to 3 feet with a moderate chop. South winds at 15 knots, and the low tide upcoming will be at 8:25 and another one at 7:52. The extended forecast calls for, yes, the heat to be around through Sunday, and then there'll be a chance for a few showers and storms Monday through Wednesday. Alan will be back with his guests right after this. Stick around.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline. If you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death, you must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055. Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are discussing Sarasota City Commission race. The runoff election is less than 2 weeks away, and while it is a nonpartisan race, the candidates are receiving support and backlash from the local parties. Our guests tonight are Jack Brill of the Republican Party of Sarasota, Kevin Griffith of the Sarasota County Democratic Party, and Kelly Kirshner, a former mayor and city commissioner in the city. And Jack, let me start with you, because we talked about the Democratic side a little bit, and the Republican candidate is Martin Hyde, and on the front page of the paper today is a major story about his temper and his temperament, the give and take in his divorce, and some incidents and run-ins with the police department. Obviously, that's not helpful.
I will say one thing I can say very confidently about Martin Hyde. He is not a church mouse, nor is he a very quiet individual. He's very outspoken, very intelligent, but very outspoken, and does not like to lose in a conversation. I read the same article, don't know the facts. I do know his one ex-wife, Jane, has been working on his campaign since he announced, and I hope that in the heat of a divorce, a lot of things get thrown around to get a settlement. I hope that's all there was.
But there were other incidents involving the police, and Martin is quoted in the paper, and we all know him pretty well, that he is somebody who is not afraid to say what he feels, and sometimes it may be over the top. But obviously, this is coming from somewhere. Where do you think it's emanating from?
Well, I think, I guess I'll throw it back that the campaigns of our Democratic counterparts, that they're obviously looking for all opposition research to try and finish him off, because he's a threat for them and as their candidacies.
Kelly, let me go to you, because you're the person who you're involved, but you have some distance now in terms of city politics. It may be very difficult for people at home to follow all this, because this is not just R versus D. This is a lot of different factions, whether it's community groups like STOP to neighborhood groups. Have these groups always been involved in this way in city commission races?
The parties have not really always been involved, and this is a nonpartisan race, and so it's really unfortunate. I think the founding fathers, if you will, of the city probably always envisioned the problems of partisan politics locally. And so Lou Ann Palmer, that was a long time serving mayor here, her quote was always, potholes and zoning code have nothing to do with being a Republican or a Democrat. And so frankly, when I was on the commission, and Kevin can attest to this, I would frequently have conversations with Kevin, with Rita Ferrandino, and other party representatives. Please don't get into it. What it does is it results in these types of things of creating really garbage arguments about immigration, or maybe someone's background and his run-ins with police or whatever else, and we don't talk about the issues, which is what's going on in this show right now, Alan.
Right, but we also know that in communities not only in Sarasota but around Florida, a lot of these city commission council races are technically nonpartisan, but these days the parties are very involved with that. What the point I really want to get to is the role of these other outside organizations and neighborhood committees and their influence on the process, because obviously they are taking different sides even among Democratic candidates.
There is, and that goes to my point exactly. The parties really have nothing to do with the orientation of how someone votes. We're not voting on abortion or immigration at the city commission table. What we're voting on is zoning codes and thoughtfulness in how our city develops. And so what it boils down to is, are you really pro-rational development that engages citizens and neighborhoods, or are you really pro-development? And then maybe from there you have conversations on, do we need a really large police force? That's the single largest budget expenditure of the city at $31 million. And they're, frankly, I mean, that's probably what we should be talking about more than anything, is a $31 million annual expenditure. How do these candidates feel about that? The associated commitments and liabilities we have for pensions with that. And that is, if taxpayers want to have a conversation about what's important on the City Commission, that's what we should be talking about tonight, not all this other ridiculous stuff.
So let's take
pensions are a wonderful thing to talk about.
So let's take this issue here. It seems overwhelmingly that the Commission campaign here is about whether, to what degree you control development. It's something that people in Sarasota continually struggle with. You know, Kevin, do you think that is the #1 issue that this race gets down to?
Well, a couple things. One, I want to push back a little bit that there's a division in the Democratic Party. There's also a division in the Republican Party. I mean, the group STOP and those neighborhood organizations are made up of people who are also registered Republicans who are not supporting the Republican in this race. So it's not fair to say that there's a division only among Democrats. In fact, the Democrats are united. Going back to what the actual issues are.
Well, they're not quite united because obviously Gabriel Hammond is technically a Democrat.
But Gabriel Hammond doesn't represent anyone but Gabriel Hammond. He doesn't even live in the city. Okay. STOP is made up of people who live in the city, and again, they are a bipartisan group. But let me return to this.
Not very bipartisan, but
they're very. I think most of their leadership, Jack, is actually registered Republicans. So.
I was reading an article this week about Austin, Texas, which is a growing, thriving community, larger city than ours. They took a poll of what the important issues were in the city of Austin. Guess what they were? Traffic, affordable housing, jobs. I mean, it's not just an issue here in Sarasota, it's an issue all across the country in communities that are growing. And it's something that, one, our Democratic Party candidates agree on. They agree on those issues, whereas the Republican Party sees immigration as an important issue for the city of Sarasota.
But let me, we have less than a minute left. We're talking about development #1 and traffic as the major issues. There is also an incredible story over a problem with the books, in millions of dollars in terms of the pension plan, that there were errors in terms of the accounting. Why aren't we hearing that more?
Well, and that should be, that's something that the current commission and the Democratic candidates haven't talked about. We have a $150 million pension deficit in the city, and based on $15 million a year going in and $36 million a year going out, the pensions, they're all gone by 2034. So what are you going to tell the current police officers and the general employees? Oh, by the way, we're going to give you a pension, but it may not be here in a few years.
All right, let's take a quick break, and when we return, we'll have final thoughts from our guests if they're still talking to each other, plus what some of our viewers are saying about last night's topic, opioid addiction on the Suncoast.
Introducing the all-new Alfa Romeo Giulia, a performance masterpiece. Race-inspired handling and lightning-fast response times take your drive to the next level. Find yours at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
It's fine that other people like you. It's more important that you like yourself. And I'm comfortable with every part of me. Meals on Wheels coming to my door as someone who's housebound assures me that I'm not forgotten. They care that I'm okay. My name is Asha Ida Bell. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Every person is different and every real estate deal is unique. That's why experience matters. I enjoy guiding my customers through the process of buying or selling a home. Because there's so much that can happen. I want them to enjoy the real estate experience as much as I do. I'm Eric Schrock with SWC Properties. I love being in real estate.
Are you a food lover, restaurant goer, or home cook? Then check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, and helpful step-by-step videos. And you'll love the restaurant guide with direct links to your favorite Suncoast eateries. Whether you're cooking in or dining out, whet your appetite with tasty tips from Chef Judy at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Giulia from Alfa Romeo. Appearance. Performance. Power. Find yours at Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
There are 3 candidates vying for 2 seats on the Sarasota City Commission. Will money and campaigning on the part of the local Republicans and Democrats affect the outcome? Our guests join us right now for final thoughts. So, Kelly, what's your view? Are you frustrated that the parties seem to be as involved at this stage?
I think it's mutually assured destruction by both parties to get in the race. It doesn't help, and I appreciate the role that Kevin's playing, at least trying to call some sanity to our colleagues in the Republican side. And I'm really happy to hear what Jack's saying about the importance of pension issues. And I hope, Jack, that you will put up on your Facebook page now, and let's have a focus on the issues and pull out this stuff that we can leave to national politics, but at a local level, I think we owe it to Republicans, Democrats, Independents, much better conversations than what is on that page right now.
And we also owe it to all citizens of Sarasota, the 38,000 registered voters, to make sure that they know all the positions of all the candidates. And by the way, just to your point, Joe sent letters for 3 different city race cycles to stay. Joe Gruters, our chairman, to stay out if Rita would stay out and Christina would stay out, and they all said no. So this cycle, we said, well, we've stayed out before. We're getting involved this time.
Kevin, I think you probably have something to say to that.
Well, Alan, tomorrow's the NFL draft, and I think the Republican Party of Sarasota has thrown its Hail Mary pass in this race because they saw that on the issues their candidate wasn't going to win. And the Democratic Party is not going to sit idly by. We will get our voters out, and Jennifer Ahern Koch and Hagen Brody are going to be the next city commissioners.
The question that I have is, given some of the back and forth between at least surrogates representing both Hagen and Jen, are you concerned that voters may be turned off and may be want to try something new?
I hope they aren't, because again, if you talk to the candidates themselves, if you talk to Hagen and Jen, first of all, they get along very well. They want to work with each other. They're campaigning together.
I'm not sure, Alan, I've seen that. I'm not sure what you're referring to. If you're talking about the gentleman who lives in Venice who's not a city voter that you keep putting on air, he's not a surrogate for either one of those individuals. I'm not sure what you're referencing between that divide. I see a lot of alignment between both campaigns, and as Kevin said at the top of the show, there is much more agreement than disagreement.
Right. We will have to leave it there, and we could go on, and we will have all the candidates in for a debate soon. Before we go, we want to share with you what some of our viewers are saying about last night's topic, opioid addiction. Since the start of the year, there have been more than 70 overdoses in Sarasota County. 14 were fatal. While the epidemic is being tackled by multiple agencies, including law enforcement, addiction recovery centers, and more, the number of overdoses continues to rise, and we ask you what you think should be done to help. Carol Easton writes, just try to help the people get off this drug and stop the deaths. Free treatment, people. An addict does not have the money it costs to get treatment, and their families don't either. If you truly want to do this, have compassion and more open, free treatment centers. Abigail Gonzalez writes, it is unbelievable how hard it is to get drug treatment without insurance or money to pay for it. And Mary Della Valley writes, whatever happened to not starting opioids to begin with? Well, what do you think about the plots and subplots in the Sarasota County Commission race, or the Sarasota City Commission race? Just join the conversation on our Facebook page at facebook.com/news7. And FYI, you can watch past roundtable discussions on demand. They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. Thanks to our guests for being here tonight. Jack Brill is Vice Chair of the Republican Party of Sarasota. Kevin Griffith is the Vice Chair of the Sarasota County Democratic Party. And Kelly Kirshner is a former Sarasota Mayor and City Commissioner. When we return, we'll have a final look at your weather, plus close to a compromise. After years of debate, Florida's legislators could reach a deal to expand gambling. The details in our prime time headlines.
You love your couch and want to protect it from spills, food, and scratching, shedding pets. Introducing Couch Coat, the reversible, washable quilted cover that protects your couch. Shield against spills, wow, stop stains, and dirty pet paws and sharp claws. Plus, it's reversible with 2 stylish colors. Guaranteed to fit any couch up to 92 inches or your money back. It even has covers to protect armrests. Machine washable too.
My grandkids destroyed away everything. But with Couch Coat, my couch is always protected, looking as good as it did the day I bought it.
Get your couch coat for just $19.99. And it's reversible in brown and cream, like 2 couch coats for the price of 1. Order right now and you can double your offer. Get a second couch coat. Just pay a separate fee. Order right now.
Call 1-800-943-0710 to get your couch coat. Call now or go to couchcoat.com. So call 1-800-943-0710. That's 1-800-943-0710. Call now.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wanna Be Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabeinn.com.
Why settle for less? Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru is rated the #1 car brand in safety, and all Subaru models with eyesight are a 2017 IIHS top safety pick. And you can lease the most award-winning small SUV, a new Subaru Forester, for just $209 a month. Or get 0% financing with complimentary maintenance included. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Your primetime headlines are coming up in just a moment, but right now let's get a latest check on the warmer weather moving to the Suncoast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Thanks,
Bob.
Alan. Yeah, we are going to see temperatures in this particular location tomorrow, as we did today, into the mid-90s. This is Mayaca City webcam in eastern portions of Manatee County, and we are going to see the possibility of some near record highs, even near the coast, and that's a result of a little bit more southerly wind blowing in, and that will bring our humidity values up. It'll make it feel a little bit more like summer over the upcoming days. Now, this index I just updated from the Florida Forest Division, and you can see these numbers continue to go higher and higher, even for Sarasota and Manatee counties. We're all above 600 now, and this looks rather ominous. 666 for DeSoto County, 611 into Hardy County, 628 now into Charlotte County, and 625 in Sarasota County. Now, big storms are firing up into Arkansas, Louisiana, all the way up into Indiana tonight, and this is associated with a fairly strong cold front. Now, this front is going to lose its strength because the area of low pressure which is driving it is heading off to the north. There's a tornado watch in effect for parts of Texas, Louisiana, up into Arkansas tonight, even western portions of Mississippi. The area in yellow that you see there, that's a severe thunderstorm watch, and then it'll go on until midnight tonight. It includes Indiana and northwest Ohio. For us, the only chance for a storm is mainly inland, and that'll be tomorrow along the sea breeze. If we have a shower at all, it'll be well inland as a result of the temperatures reaching into the mid-90s there. 80 degrees currently, the dew point way up there. With a higher dew point temperature, there could be a little bit of fog forming tomorrow morning, especially inland areas. And the temperature today, the high was 84, and the low temperature this morning was not all that bad. It'll be a little warmer tomorrow, and the rainfall deficit continues to rise. As far as the temperatures go tomorrow, mid-80s for highs right near the coast within a couple of miles. If you're right on the beach, it'll be right around 82, 83 degrees for a high tomorrow. And then the temperature forecast calling for highs near Orlando will be reaching into the mid-90s at times, especially on Thursday afternoon across inland areas. So that'll be a big concern for some high temperatures there in the central part of the state. South winds at 15 knots, and we'll have 2 to 3 foot seas out there. A moderate chop in the bays and inland waters. The water temperature now at 78 degrees, and it looks like UV index will stay high at 10. Low tide upcoming 825 and a high at 219. Another low at 752. Mostly fair warm tonight. Upper 60s tomorrow. Sunshine and just a few clouds, and things heating up over the next several days. It'll be a little cooler on Monday, and that's a result of increased moisture and a chance for a few showers then, but a pretty toasty weekend ahead. Alan will be back with primetime headlines right after this.
But is it? It's really just the beginning, right? Have you written a book and want it published but don't know where to start? You're not alone. Page Publishing cuts through the confusion that most new authors face, like copyright protection, barcodes, printing, and digital uploading. We will get your book into bookstores now. We guide you through the publishing maze and help you distribute and sell your work in hard copy and ebook formats. That's right, we will digitize and place your book for sale on Amazon, Apple iBooks, and Google, offering bring it to millions. Don't waste another minute. Most publishers won't even look at new author submissions, but we're different. We review your book and provide you feedback in about a week. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, our team gets you into bookstores fast.
Call for your free author submission kit at 800-425-5308.
Attention blood clot filter patients. Surgically implanted blood clot filters are potentially life-threatening. Some filters are prone to breaking, resulting in pieces of the filter moving through the body and causing internal bleeding. If you had surgery to implant a blood clot filter, you may be entitled to a cash award, even if you haven't suffered side effects yet. Call the Gold Shield Group now, 888-747-5291, to see if you qualify for a cash award, 888-747-5291.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Now for your primetime headlines, top Trump administration officials have briefed all 100 senators on the situation in North Korea. This as the U.S. moved a controversial anti-missile defense system into place in South Korea. ABC's Janae Norman is following the latest from Washington.
Senators bust down Pennsylvania Avenue for a rare White House meeting. 100 senators briefed by 4 top administration officials with a focus on one looming threat, North Korea.
It would certainly have been more convenient for all of us to meet here in the Capitol. That was not my choice.
A briefing for the entire House of Representatives follows. Those meetings on North Korea come amid high tensions. The situation escalating overnight as the U.S. moved a controversial anti-missile defense system into place 155 miles south of Seoul,
which will be operational in the coming days and able to better defend South Korea.
The move prompting protests as residents there worry it could make them a target, and angered North Korea, Russia, and China, which worried with the sophisticated radars on the system, the U.S. could be spying. During the House Armed Services Committee hearing today, Admiral Harry Harris testified that system is aimed north, not to the west toward China, and is a purely defensive system.
I don't share your confidence that North Korea is not going to attack either South Korea or Japan or the United States or our territories or our states.
North Korea has remained defiant against tough talk from the U.S., accusing the U.S. of pushing the situation to the brink of war and vowing to continue conducting missile launches.
With every test, Kim Jong-un moves closer to his stated goal of a preemptive nuclear strike capability against American cities.
During today's hearing, Admiral Harris testified North Korea is clearly in the position to threaten Hawaii today, adding we may need more missile interceptors and defensive radars in place to protect the state. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
The Trump administration is blasting a federal judge's decision to block an executive order to defund sanctuary cities. A San Francisco-based judge is issuing the decision yesterday, saying federal funding can't be stripped from cities refusing to cooperate with immigration enforcement. This morning, the president tweeting, quote, "First, the Ninth Circuit rules against the ban, and now it hits again on sanctuary cities. Both ridiculous rulings. See you in the Supreme Court." Others are celebrating the ruling, including the mayor of Los Angeles.
It was a great day for our Constitution. I think it showed that unconstitutional political threats against our cities cannot take away our rights, and they certainly can't steal our tax dollars.
White House Chief of Staff Reince Priebus says the federal court was, quote, going bananas, adding the administration was taking steps to appeal the ruling. President Trump is signing an executive order calling for a review of lands designated as national monuments. He says presidents have used their designation power to seize millions of acres of land. President Obama put more than 265 million acres under federal control. In the final weeks of his presidency, he declared millions of acres in Utah as protected land. Native American groups are already preparing to challenge the order. The White House is proposing what it calls the biggest tax cut in U.S. history. It would cut the corporate tax from 35% to 15%, a move that would cost the government an estimated $4 trillion in lost revenue. Individuals would also benefit with a reduction in the number of tax brackets from 7 to 3. It would also double the current standard deductions. This is just a proposal. Only Congress has the authority to reform tax code. By the way, administration officials say President Trump still has no intention of releasing his tax returns. Here in Florida, voters could soon decide whether or not to cut certain tax costs. The House today approving a ballot amendment to increase the homestead exemption for property owners. Despite arguments an increase would hurt local governments, under the measure, the exemption would go up by $25,000. Republicans say it will encourage home purchases, but Democrats warn it is irresponsible.
Home ownership across our state is getting lower and lower and lower. This tax cut gives them an option to make that reality a possibility.
It sounds great to give our residents a tax break, and I agree, I would be happy to have one. But I also understand that myself and my constituents want services, and those services don't come free.
The measure now goes to the Senate. If approved, voters will have the final say on the plan on the 2018 general election ballot. Meanwhile, the House is hoping to create jobs by passing a bill deregulating 20 professions. It lowers the licensing requirements for certain occupations, including barbers, boxing timekeepers, and architects. Lawmakers who voted against it say inadequate training creates safety hazards. The Senate version has one more committee to stop before it goes to a floor vote. After years of stalemate, House and Senate leaders could be close to a deal to revamp Florida's gambling industry. Both chambers are moving towards the Senate pari-mutuel industry-friendly plan. The Seminole tribe would also be allowed to add craps and roulette to its casinos. The Senate's chief negotiator, Bill Galvano of Bradenton, says talks are promising.
It is a substantial offer. I mean, there was a significant movement on several issues, and it's quite a contrast to where the House was just a few days ago.
The House is also backing down from its opposition towards decoupling, which would allow Greyhound tracks to stop races and continue operating poker rooms. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.